40, if you go to the doctor, guess what? They don't try to fix anything anymore. They stop trying to fix shit. When you get to be 40, they just go, yeah, it starts to happen. They don't care. I went to the doctor because my ankle hurt, right? Now, if you're 20 and you have a bad shoulder, the doctor will reconstruct your shoulder through miracles of modern science. They'll take your ear and make a shoulder out of it. It's weird. But when you're 40, they just give you no options. They don't care. I went because my ankle, I was limping for like a month out of nowhere. And the doctor, he brings me and he shows me an x-ray of my ankle. He's like, yeah, your ankle's just worn out.
One of my eyebrow hairs has gone rogue. Is it hairs? Are they eyebrow lashes? Well, whatever they are. I've got one that decided that, I don't know, it's like, you know what, I've had enough of being fucking, in line with these other hairs. I've decided I'm going to go, my own way. Which I think is probably the telltale sign of when you're getting older, right? I mean, yeah, you could say, oh, you get gray hair or whatever. But, I mean, I knew people that, when I was in high school that were starting to, they'd have like little specks of gray in their beards or in their, in the hair on their head. So going gray really isn't a clear indication that somebody's getting old. I mean, wasn't that one guy, Steve Martin, right? The comedian dude with the white hair. Like, didn't he go fucking, gray, like super fucking early in his career or whatever? So it's not the gray hair that is the indicator that you're getting old. I think it's when areas of your body have decided that, they're no longer going to fucking do what you expect them to do. I think that's the telltale sign, right? Nothing is more clear than just fucking, frazzled eyebrows. Although they're not, I mean, it's just one fucking hair. It is possible that maybe I just slept wrong, or slept on my face or some shit, and it just happened to, that one fucking hair. That's how I know it can't be that, because how could I have slept in such a weird way that only one fucking eyebrow hair decided that, it's enough is enough, I mean, they're not falling out, nothing's getting thin or anything like that. It just decided, I don't know, and the more I fucking try and fix it or put it back in its place, it's just, it refused to. So eventually I had to just cut it. But yeah, I think, I don't know. Can it be a coincidence that this Friday is my birthday, signifying the, the downhill trot towards death, I guess. So I don't know. Maybe this is just not an epiphany. What is it when it's like a fucking sign? Well, I mean, I guess it is just a fucking sign, but there's a much more fancy fucking word for it that when, an omen. That's what I was looking for. The omen that I'm on that fucking downward slide. God. I don't know. I mean, I don't feel old, right? I mean, my knee is fucked up currently. So I guess, I mean, and that started hurting about 2 weeks ago. So maybe, maybe it is. Maybe, is there just some sort of like warranty that at 40 your body just says, you know what? We're done. We're done fucking trying to prevent you from fucking feeling aches and pains. Although the knee thing is actually, that's something that's bothered me for shit since I was a kid. I don't know, I get like what do they call that shit? The water on the knee. So I get all this fucking liquid and shit that fills up in my knee. And, I mean, I've gotten it, what do they call it? Expunged. Look at me with all the fucking fancy words today. I've got it, I got the shot where they fucking suck the juice out, which is, it fucking hurts, which is why I haven't gone back, because on top of getting old, I am still a guy, and, I don't go to the fucking doctor unless, I don't know. I'm a fucking stereotypical dude. If I can fix it by fucking ignoring it or putting some fucking duct tape on it or, rubbing some dirt on it or whatever, then, that's usually my plan of attack on most things. It's only when those things don't work that it's like, all right, I guess we gotta fucking go, So, I don't know. So it really depends. Like, I don't know if I'm trying to wait out the fucking water in my knee or what, but it's been bothering me for about a week and a half, going on 2 weeks. And, I don't know. I tried icing it, but then who the fuck has time to sit around with fucking ice on your knee and shit all day? And I know you're not supposed to ice it all day. You're supposed to, ice it for, maybe half an hour or whatever, and then, fucking wait 4 hours and do it again. But who the fuck has time to do that shit, So, so I'm falling apart over here. This is the effing podcast for those of you that are new to this show or whatever it is. Is this a show? It's not really a show, right? Because shows are usually entertaining. They're interesting to listen to, and who are we fooling? This is none of those. But I do a couple of these a week, usually Tuesdays and Thursdays. Today's a Monday, so obviously it's an unusual week. But it's not fucking unique, I guess, for me to do a fucking podcast on a different day than usual. What I'm trying to explain is that usually they happen on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Occasionally, they happen on different fucking days, and occasionally I give you more than fucking two. It really all just depends on how the fucking week is going, and whether or not I have shit to talk about. So, that's always a factor as well. Excuse me. But yeah, so if you're new to whatever the fuck this is, welcome. If you've been listening, or, you've heard the podcast in the past and, and you're back, welcome back. I don't know. I have no idea what direction this podcast is going to go because, I could talk about, Roseanne. I don't know. I know that happened last week and I don't think I talked about it in last week's podcast, but, I don't know. What I've noticed is that there's a lot of people that are, 100% on board with her getting fired and the show being canceled and all of that. I don't know if you need to cancel the fucking show, but you definitely. I know that the show is called Roseanne, so it's hard to make the fucking show without her. But at this point, all of the other characters, they add something. It's not just the show is just 100% about Roseanne. All it really is just some fucking, fat lady fucking being grouchy and, occasionally saying some funny shit. I'm pretty sure that they could find writers to make the show still funny, just minus fucking Roseanne. But of course, the right, and the Trump supporters will, of course, they're protesting it, and now they're trying to go after Samantha Bee because she called Ivanka Trump fucking cunt. I don't know. I don't invest too heavily in any of this shit. But what I have noticed is that you've got the people that are fucking adamant that Roseanne's whole career just goes up in flames. And then you have comedians, of course, defending her. Not all of them, but, a lot of the ones that I fucking listen to, a lot of them are fucking defending her. And it's just like, if this was like a one-time thing, then I'd say, yeah, okay, she's just fucking saying some edgy shit, and I'm one of those people that I fucking find it, like it's horrific that comedians get in trouble for jokes. But the problem is that Roseanne has a history of not only just being fucking, like incredibly inappropriate, but she has a history of making a very similar fucking comment with the whole comparison of African American people with primates. I mean, this isn't even the first time she's done it. So I have to assume that these aren't jokes. These are just how she feels, and because she thought it would be okay to fucking say that, you know, she went ahead and did it, and then of course tried to blame it on fucking taking Ambien, which I will give her, some fucking understanding here, because from what I understand, I mean, there's like a fucking website about, all the crazy shit people have done on Ambien, but the one thing that isn't a regular occurrence is saying racist fucking shit, and not meaning, I don't know, I mean, yeah, it's possible. It's possible that it was the Ambien. But the problem with believing that is that she has a history of saying shit like this. So, unless every single time she does something fucking racist or inappropriate, she's on Ambien, I think it's safe to assume that Roseanne is kind of a cunt. And, probably deserves to have some consequences happen to the shit that they fucking, to the shit that she says or does. This is reality. If you do some shit that will, possibly, because let's be realistic, ABC or Disney, they don't give a shit about what she said. What they care about is the reduction in profits that they're going to make for the people that have decided that they're going to fucking tune out. I think most people accepted, I mean, I haven't watched the show at all. I don't know if it's funny or not, but it seems like most people accepted the idea that Roseanne is a Trump supporter in the show. But the problem is she's also acting like that particular niche of Trump supporters that are kind of racist and bigoted. She's also portraying that outside of the fucking show. And I think ABC and Disney sort of recognizes that could, it could cost them fucking money. So it's not really surprising that they've decided, okay, we're just going to pull the fucking plug because it's not worth the money that we're going to lose to try and fucking take this stand, against people that are fucking rightfully upset. It's also why the thing with getting upset with Samantha Bee for calling Ivanka Trump, I almost called her Ivanka cunt. The name still fits. But the whole reason that's not going to fucking work is because the audience for that show was never for the right wing. So they can protest all they want, but the show was never meant for them, right? It was meant for fucking, liberals. And, can I just take a second? I know I've said this before on this podcast, but I'm going to take a fucking split second to put this out there. Liberals are not the same as progressives. Progressives do not fucking, we don't, we're not the fucking PC police. We're not trying to fucking, remove anybody's rights or any of that shit. The only thing that we're interested in is just that everybody fucking, has some semblance of fucking dignity to live with. Meaning that, if you want to fucking go to college, that maybe it's not okay to, end up fucking in debt before you even graduated. We want to give people single payer. We want to end fucking wars and quit, throwing our fucking soldiers into the fucking grinder over there at the behest of fucking, the corporations that have a vested interest in taking over particular territories, especially in the Middle East. The PC shit, we don't give a fuck about. We're not trying to take your fucking guns. We're not trying to fucking force you to, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but when it comes to like Samantha Bee and the people that are upset at Roseanne, I'm upset with her too, but not in any sense where I'd be like, I'm going to write a fucking letter or make a phone call. I don't give a fuck that much. But, but the Samantha Bees and the Hillary supporters and all, those are liberals. Okay. Those are the people that you fucking hate. Those are the people that you think are pussies and all of that. 'Cause I agree. A lot of them are, but they're not the same as progressives. So, I'm just gonna throw that little fucking tidbit out there. But anyway, the outrage at Samantha Bee for calling Ivanka a cunt, it's not gonna work out the way that people on the right want it to, because that show was never meant for them, right? She's anti-Trump. She's pretty much anti-Republican and conservative and all that. The show was never meant for her. Or not for everybody that's on the right that's upset. That's why, the reason it won't work is because the people that watch the show where they make the money from, they're going to continue to watch regardless of what she fucking said. Right? The people that are upset about Roseanne getting fired, I think the show was partly made for them. So that's why it's a big deal. And that's also why maybe ABC decided, you know what? It's not worth it because both sides are watching that show, right? Whereas Samantha Bee, nobody on the right is watching that show. Nobody's tuning in for that. I don't even watch the fucking show. I'm not on the right or anything. Obviously, I'm a progressive. I don't watch that fucking show because I know it's all just fucking horse shit. But, so what? She called Ivanka Trump a cunt. Cunt isn't a racial slur. I mean, at least not in this country. I don't know. I know in like Ireland and Scotland or whatever, it's not even a gender specific. And I'd say even in Boston, because, we call people cunts all the fucking time. And it has nothing to do with whether or not you got a fucking vagina or a dick in your pants. If you're a cunt, you're a fucking cunt. So, there's definitely a fucking difference. But of course, I know for those, for the people that are upset about what Samantha Bee said, I know that no matter what I say, you're going to insist that the situation is the same. Just like, the people that are going to say, oh, she was just joking. She shouldn't have to be fired from her show and have the show canceled and affect all these other actors and actresses and shit. The same way you're going to try to explain it to people that are upset about what Roseanne said, they're not going to fucking hear you either. Because although I will say, and this isn't just some sort of fucking bias, but I would say that they knew what they were getting into with Roseanne, right? She has a history of this shit. They still chose to do it. They still chose to bring her on, knowing that she could be a fucking problem, knowing that she has a history of saying some pretty fucking bigoted shit. They still chose to do it. But, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying anything fucking different than what most other people are saying. So, I didn't even want to fucking talk about Roseanne. I do find it a little disturbing that a lot of comedians are like instantly coming to her, to her rescue or coming to her defense. The same thing happened when Amy Schumer got exposed as being a fucking joke thief, right? For some reason, a lot of comedians were like, no, it's what do they call it? I don't know what they were fucking referring to it as, but basically they were saying like, oh, they had the same, like it's possible to have the same fucking premise and yada, yada, yada. And, it's possible to some degree, but I mean, there was things that she flat out fucking stole from Patrice O'Neal. She stole the joke from that one, female comedian talking about hiring somebody to slap the fucking food out of her hand, and I mean she definitely stole fucking jokes, She's definitely a fucking joke thief. So it's a little disturbing, at least to me, because, I mean, I fucking highly enjoy comedy. I've even done a couple of fucking, open nighters or whatever, but, or open mics, not open nighters. So I am highly invested in the comedy world. What I do know is that, they have compilations showing that it wasn't just like, same thinking, that it was like literally the structure, the joke, like almost word for word, like maybe she changed, one thing or whatever and, try and pass it off as her own. It was very obvious she was stealing jokes, but a lot of comedians were like, oh no, she's, it's just the same opinion or whatever. She's not a joke thief, yada, yada, yada. But my question with that has always been like, okay, so if you're going to come to her defense, then why was Carlos Mencia like fucking ostracized and thrown out like garbage? Because he was basically doing the same shit. I'm not saying that he wasn't a joke thief. Yeah, he absolutely is a fucking joke thief. And just, as I'll say that, yeah, Amy Schumer absolutely is a fucking joke thief. I don't get why the rules apply different for her than they did for him. Is it just because, I don't know. I don't want to fucking assume anything, I'm not going to, I mean, and for those of you who are like, oh, because she's white. No, I wasn't thinking that line. I was thinking more along the lines that she's got, connections that she could, help or hurt people's possible fucking careers. Is that the reason why a lot of comedians refuse to just fucking come out and admit she's a fucking joke thief? And Carlos Mencia, he didn't have that sort of pool, so it was kind of easy to just sort of flush his entire career down the fucking toilet. I don't know. It is what it is, but I do find it just a little bit fucking disturbing that you have some comedians that are coming to Roseanne's defense. I know that some of them, that the reason that they're doing it is because they don't really know her history. So a lot of them are probably going to make, they're making these statements like, it's just a fucking joke, whatever, yada, yada, yada. And then they'll find out later that, that she has a history of saying shit like this, and, and maybe they'll fucking retract it, or maybe they'll pretend like they never fucking said anything. I don't know. The ones that bother me the most are the ones that that they're fucking well read, right? They know that she has a history of this shit, and yet they're still choosing to fucking defend her. Like that, I'll never fucking understand. But it is what it is. But speaking of comedians, I've decided to get a Joe Roganectomy. I've decided that I'm kind of done with the guy. For far too long, I don't know. I mean, he's a fucking brilliant comedian. I'll still watch, any fucking specials he puts out, or if he ever comes to a neighborhood near me, I will definitely go and watch him do his thing. I think he's fucking brilliant with the UFC stuff. I really fucking dig watching the fucking fight companion that he does. I'm a fan of when he's got like Brendan Schaub and Eddie Bravo on the show. I think some of his best moments are when those two are on the show. But I don't think I can dismiss the fact that he's a lot more conservative than he lets on. A lot of the times when people question like, oh, why does he have certain people on his podcast, like, oh, are you, are you fucking, are you a Republican? Or are you conservative? And, and a lot of the times he dismisses it like, nah, that's fucking silly talk. I just like to have conversations, and I like to have conversations with, people that have, sometimes extreme, perspectives on life. And for the longest time, I would be like, yeah, okay, because I'm just like that. If you've listened to this podcast, in the past, I've stated many times that, I like to have, like, especially on Twitter, I'll have people that follow me and I follow them that, disagree almost 100% on, as far as our political perspectives and stuff like that. But I'll follow them and they'll follow me because there is a mutual respect for, just like, okay, yeah, you believe what you believe and I believe what I believe. And, yeah, I might not fucking link up, but we can still be, I'm still interested in what you have to say. I'm definitely one of these people that I like to know what the other side is thinking. Or in the case of being a progressive, know what the other sides are thinking, because we are fucking, in a battle against not only fucking conservatives and Republicans, we also have to fight against the fucking Democrats and liberals. So, it is, if you're one of these people like myself that has an interest in politics and what's going on, it's imperative that you know how everybody feels. So that way, you can get a sense of people's motivations for the things that they say, things that they do, yada, 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 right? And for the longest time, I was in agreement with Joe's explanation. But the problem is, that I've noticed is that 9 times out of 10, if he's got a guest on his podcast, and I mean, if they're not a comedian, but if they're like somebody that has a sort of social presence, 9 times out of 10, the people that he has on are what you would describe as, at best, libertarians, at worst, conservative fucking pricks. And yeah, every now and then he'll put on an Abby Martin, or when he had Kyle Kalinske or Jimmy Dore, or I think the other day he had on Kevin Smith, although I don't really know Kevin Smith's his political fucking ideology. Every now and then, yeah, he'll have these people on, but he has these other people, the Jordan Petersons, the Sam Harrises, the Ben Shapiros, the Paul Rubin, or is it Paul Rubin? I think Paul Rubin might be the music guy. Somebody Rubin. He'll have these people on a lot more frequently. And I've also noticed that he's now starting to be featured on some of their podcasts. Like, I think he's going to be on, or if he hasn't been already, he's going on Ben Shapiro's podcast. And it's just, like, after a while it has started, if I can fucking speak English properly, it has started to become apparent that he's more in line with them. Not that that's a problem. I don't really have a problem with that. I just don't like the fact that, he won't just admit it. It's okay. I mean, it's not like, like I said, I love the guy's comedy. He's fantastic at the UFC thing. I like the fucking, what the hell is it? Where he's fucking him and some, usually Brendan Schaub and Eddie Bravo, but they do like when the fight's going on, they're having a fucking podcast. I 100% fucking, am a fan with that. But what I can't get past is the bullshit. That he doesn't feel that way, then why do you constantly associate with them? Why do you spend most of your time with people like that? Why is it that everybody that fucking admires these people, like the people that are like Jordan Peterson and Sam Harris or whatever, you run into them a lot online, right? The people that are Joe Rogan followers and stuff. why is it that everybody that you seem to, or that I'm not going to pretend like he's listening to this shit. I know he's not. You know, why is it that the people that are the fans of him and the fans of Jordan Peterson and Sam Harris and Ben Shapiro, they're all like they have one commonality. They're all fucking assholes. You know, that have convinced themselves that because they go against the grain of PC, social fucking standards, that, you know, somehow that makes them, like they're something to be revered. Now, you know, for those of you that listen to this podcast for any amount of time, you know that I hate the PC shit. Okay, I fucking especially hate how fucking feminized men have become. But at the same time, like with Jordan Peterson, I know I talked about this on a I don't know, two, 3 podcasts ago. One of the things that sort of gave him his notoriety was because he's a professor at a university, I believe it's in Canada. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's in Toronto, like University of Toronto or some shit. I don't know. But one of the things that gave him his notoriety was the fact that he refused to fall in line with the idea that if somebody wants to fucking refer to themselves as as a male or a female or whatever, that he was going to be obligated to refer to them as that. And he decided that for some reason that he needed to take a stand on that, right? In my opinion, I mean, logistically, I 100% understand and to some degree agree with him. Not on, if there's a dude that wants to become a girl, or be called a girl or be called, she or whatever. Not that shit. It's just like the people, I said this before. Momo! Shh! The people are like, oh, I identify as a fucking werewolf or some shit. Like, I'm not gonna fucking refer to you as a canine or some shit. Whatever, if it's getting ridiculous, it's fucking ridiculous. But the people that he was arguing with or debating or whatever, these were just people like, well, if a female wants to be referred to as a he or he wants to be referred to... Momo! Shh! Sorry, he's dreaming. He, like, I don't know. It's a weird fucking stand to take. Hey, buddy. Hi, you having a bad dream over there? Huh? Here, you want to talk to the people? Hey. Hey. No? All right, go take your ass over there. Go sit down. Go sit down. I wasn't joking. My dog always does this shit, right? Like, I tell him, like, go sit down or go away or whatever. Like, he'll walk like a couple of steps and stop, and he'll look back at me, like, to make sure, like, well, did you really mean it? But, what the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, it's a weird stand to take. It's like, you think it's ridiculous, but, do you have to be a dick about it? If somebody considers themselves a female, even though they were born a male, and they want to be called she or her or whatever, is it really going? I mean, I said this in a couple of podcasts ago. Is it really gonna fucking? I mean, it takes more energy to like take a stand against that than to fucking just like, all right, fine, But the thing is that he and others and the people that follow him all think that, like, oh, if you give in any way that, like, it's all become this fucking, this competition of, who can, be more fucking hard-headed or whatever the fuck it is. And yeah, the PC people, the social justice warriors, yeah, a lot of them have taken shit to the fucking extreme, and I completely fucking, disagree with a lot of the shit that they fucking do. The things that bug me the most are when, for example, like, how like some white people will get really upset for black people, right? Like something that's, that they, well, I mean, you would think that, okay, yeah, that would be offensive or whatever, right? Black people don't seem to give a fuck about it, but the white people are like, oh, how dare you, like they're making this fucking federal case when black people don't really even fucking care, like that kind of shit gets on my nerves. Because it's like, okay, if black people are upset about whatever it is that you're upset about, then you let them fucking be upset about it. Like, they don't need you as a representative. And a lot of these people kind of feel like that's their job, to be the representative for others. Because in their minds, they've convinced themselves that, well, nobody else is going to do it and they certainly can't do it, so I'm going to do it. It's just, there's a degree of fucking cuntiness in there somewhere. So yeah, when it comes to shit like that, I'm fucking, I'm against that type of shit. But if you're just going to be a dick for the sake of being a dick, and it really just boils down to that you're just some sort of fucking grouchy old man that's refusing to fucking evolve with the way society is going, then, you're not really, you're not really worthy of fucking the admiration that you're getting. And it's really no surprise that the people that all find fucking Peterson and Sam Harris and Ben Shapiro, whatever, that they're all these fucking like cunty douchebags. I don't know. But when it comes to fucking Joe Rogan, like I said, I love his fucking comedy. I think he's fucking brilliant, and most of the interviews he does, he's really the only person that I could realistically sit for like 3 fucking hours and listen to them talk, because he, it is something that is kind of unique to, at least to podcasting, where it is just a fucking conversation. A lot of the times when you have people that have guests or whatever, they try and, they're trying too hard to either fucking make it like informative or funny or serious or whatever. Joe Rogan is, he's figured out the remedy to that. He's the only, aside from if Bill Burr did a 3-hour podcast, I'm pretty sure I could, if Bill Burr did a 24-hour podcast, I'd probably sit and listen to it because the dude is fucking hilarious. But I've noticed a pattern, I noticed a pattern a long time ago, but I don't know. It's like, how much, or, how long can you say, oh yeah, I'm just having a conversation, or I don't really feel this fucking way. How long can you say that when these people are like frequent fucking guests, and you're making, and you're doing guest appearances on their podcasts, and, and the people that, follow you and follow them, they're all kind of fucking cunty. At some point you have to just be like, you know what? I do share a lot of these fucking values. I think if he would say that, and who the fuck am I? I know I'm fucking nobody. But if he said that, I probably would feel a little bit different. I'd probably be able to be like, okay, yeah, I can fucking, I can continue to listen to it. I think for me, the what was it that got me to this point? He had on, what's that fucking lady? Candace something or other, the lady that's, she's like the female version of that fucking Sheriff David Clark or whatever, the angry fucking black guy that seems to hate his own people. She's the same fucking lady that is in Kanye's ear that has convinced him that, slavery was a fucking choice and all the other like for me, it was like, okay, you're going to have her on. Yeah, I know she made some, I know that not necessarily an authority figure, but she is definitely, a voice out there. And I'd like to think that the only reason Joe Rogan had her on, and I didn't listen to it, so I don't know how the fucking interview went. But, I know you can make the argument that, look, I just wanted to see her fucking side. But there's some people that you don't really need to hear their side of the shit. Right? Like, I don't need to hear, you know, like if you have on like David fucking Duke, and I know he would never have the guy, or he might if it was fucking open to him. But, you know, like, I don't need to hear David Duke's reasoning for being a fucking racist piece of shit. Like, I don't need to hear everybody's fucking opinion. And that's why it's like, okay, so Joe, either he fucking agrees with these people, or he's just doing it for the fucking the shock value, the desire to try and piss people off, because it's like, oh, look who he's got on now. You know, it just, either way, I can't respect that anymore. You know, when he has the fight companion, I'll probably watch that. Obviously, if he comes out with a special, I'll definitely fucking watch that. Or, you know, like I said, if he comes to, you know, a comedy club near me, I'll go watch him, you know, fucking do his thing, because I respect him as a comedian. I think he's fucking hilarious. But I can't fucking, you know, I just can't listen to his fucking podcast anymore, because I just feel like, you know, like he's not fucking being real to who he is. And, you know, and I mean, he either feels the same way or similar to the people that he brings on when he has these fucking extremists on, or he's doing, you know, or he's basically turned into fucking, to like a fucking higher version of, who's the fucking guy? Howard Stern, that just does like this, you know, he's like a shock jock, you know. It's just, I don't know, I can't respect that anymore. So, you know, I have officially removed, you know, removed him from my life. You know, that sounds fucking gay as fuck, but, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's not that he, you know, like I said, if he would just be like, yeah, you know, I lean more towards these people's perspectives than anything else. If he would have done that, I would have been like, all right, you know, because it would be no different than me following people on Twitter that, you know, that I disagree with 100%. I'm not adverse to listening to a difference of opinion. What I don't like is the pretending like you don't actually feel that fucking way when it's kind of obvious you do. You know, I can't respect. I don't know. You know, like I said, I'm a fucking nobody. You know, I guess I could have just not fucking even talked about this shit on here, because I could have just did what I did already. You know, I stopped following him on Twitter. I stopped following him on Instagram. I fucking stopped following him on YouTube. You know, like I said, I did a fucking a Roganectomy, you know, but I don't know. I think I fucking gone or babbled on for much too long. So I'm going to end the podcast here. I hope you had a good fucking weekend. I know I did, or, well, you know, my son did. He, his team, his baseball team, they're going to the finals in their little league. So that's fucking exciting, especially since their whole season they've been, I wouldn't say they've been a shitty team, but they haven't been very consistent. Like, they'll win, they'll lose, they'll win, they'll lose. You know, it's a fucking surprise, and it's exciting. And I know you fucking cunts don't give a shit, but, you know, he's my son, and, you know, I'm a proud fucking papa. But anyway, so yeah, I hope you had a good fucking weekend, and, you know, I hope your week is starting out okay. I know it's fucking Monday. And, you know, hopefully the rest of your week goes well. I will definitely do another podcast or two later on this week, so just be on the fucking lookout for that, or not, whatever. I don't give a shit. Anyways, don't, like always, fucking don't take any shit, and go fuck yourself. Peace.